would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Roswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are One Eastern.
When everyone thinks one thing is going to happen, let's pause and look at the other side. Thursday Night Football, the Miami Dolphins at Buffalo Bills. Everyone thinks this is a blowout. The Bills are 11.5-point favorites. That number was 12 earlier this week. The Buffalo Bills are Super Bowl contenders. They're one of the best teams in the AFC. The Miami Dolphins are an absolute mess, and no one is denying that. And we're looking at a Thursday Night Football game where one of the biggest storylines is Mike McDaniel. Is he the head coach of the Dolphins tomorrow? Because this is one you look at and say the Dolphins are going to get blown out. They got blued out by the Colts week 1. Lost the division game last week to the Patriots after giving up that kickoff return touchdown late. It's a messy offseason. Tua Tagovailoa versus Tyreek Hill. But are the Dolphins done? And if they win, why keep your coach? If it is a game in which you look at and say, oh, if they lose, they could fire their coach, really, what is the point of hanging on? What is the thought process of an NFL owner 2 weeks into the season when nationally the biggest storyline for his team is, are they going to fire the coach? Football, baby. Thursday Night Football right here on The Sports Animal. And you can hear it, Miami at Buffalo, the Bills 2-0. And the NFL coverage on The Sports Animal is presented by Hyenas Comedy Nightclub, now open in Winrock Town Center. JJ Buck joined by our quarterback, Ned James, this morning. Bob Walpo holding it down, producing for you. Happy Thursday, everyone, and welcome into the opening drive. Thank you for joining us on The Sports Animal, watching on ProView Networks. Adrian holding it down there. You can check out the show each and every day. Of course, listen back to the podcast. Wherever you find your podcast, you can watch replays of the show. We are here for you. So the storyline of Thursday Night Football, you got Josh Allen, a Buffalo run game, which, by the way, leads the league in rushing attempts. We're going to talk about that. But when one of the biggest storylines of the game, it's week 3, is Mike McDaniel and the Miami Dolphins being a mess. The ownership group, where do you think they're at with Miami right now? Because the national talking point is, oh, you lose, you have to fire the coach. But if you're already there, what is the point of hanging on? What is the point of taking this game by game?
The point of taking it game by game?
Yeah, so because the question is, right, is Miami, all right, you lose, you fire your coach. But if you win, you keep him around.
Right. I still think it's too early to start getting into firing coaches. And I understand, there's, a little room for error in the NFL because, it is a business and, they're trying to make money and they're trying to bring fans to the stadium. And if you're not winning, it's really difficult. But in the case of Miami, and all these teams that are 0-2 right now, you got to pump the brakes a little bit. I know there's all these statistics that come out with the probability of teams making the playoffs based on an 0-2 start, and they're not very good. But at the same time, you got to get through the first month. You really do. There's a 17-game season. It's a long season. A lot of things happen during the course of that season. It's a little premature now with McDaniel. I know, the buzzards are out now circling, these places, and people are trying to figure out, what their next move is going to be, particularly in Chicago as well with the quarterback situation. But he's young. Those kind of things, you just really have to give them some time. They've got some great talent offensively there in Miami. You got to figure out how to run the ball. Buffalo's winning because they're running the football. You got to run, play defense, and good special teams, and it takes teams a little bit of time to kind of catch up, from the preseason to the regular season. So I like to give teams, a couple more weeks before I start, kind of, saying, hey, look, there's some deficiencies here or there's some issues here. In Miami, I think, that will be the case. Thursday night's this is going to be a big game for them. Anything
Short week on the road, division opponent, big underdogs. The entire world talking about how your team is done, is soft, needs to fire their coach. You talk about running the football. The Bills, they lead the league in rushing attempts, and that's even with the week 1 game in which they had the ridiculous comeback because they were down 15 points in the fourth quarter. But it's not just Josh Allen, it's James Cook. It's the ground game, which supports the quarterback. The Dolphins, through 2 weeks, 29th in rushing. They were 21st last year. I think what's got to be frustrating is that was something that they talked about all offseason, is understanding, they have the speed. It's Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, the timing of Tua in the passing game. They run it to run the football, and they can't run the football.
Right, and that's going to be a problem. And it's really particularly a problem later in the year as you get going, because you're going to need that running game as the season goes on. But it's still too early. And like I always said, offense always gets the most attention. It's the pretty girl at the party. You look at her, then you got to talk to her, and maybe she's not so smart. And so you got to have defense. They've got several defensive players hurt in Buffalo right now. Their big-time defensive tackle.
Ed Oliver.
Ed Oliver is out this game. So, you got to understand, if Miami gets just a little bit of light at the end of that tunnel, they're going to take advantage of it this game. And this is professional sports. You sell tickets on offense, but you win games on defense, and you win championships on special teams. So let's see how this game plays out tonight. It's tough to beat Buffalo up there. It's kind of a little different place, that stadium. But, it's the NFL. Anybody can win on any given Sunday. So.
Now, wide receiver Jalen Waddle, the Dolphins, saying, quote, "No pressure at all. We're just trying to play the best ball we can, go out there and compete at a high level, do our jobs, and get a win." That's got to be tough already 2 weeks in, when your coach is feeling it, when the questions already in the locker room all week long are about your head coach, and you played 2 games.
Yeah, but it's, it's ownership, it's fans, it's these type of things. They have to answer these questions, these hard questions that come at them based off of just a sample size, just a 2-game sample size.
I guess at this point, is it a 2-game sample size when you've been there, done that with this core?
Yeah,
with Tua, with these wide receivers, with this coach.
Yeah, let me. And I know you've heard me say this a bunch of times. Every team has a Tyreek Hill. Everybody has a drama queen on their team. I mean, there's no even colleges have drama queens on their staff. It's not always on offense, but a lot of times it is offense. But you have to kind of look past some of those things. The talent. These guys are professionals. They understand what their jobs are, and you really do have to watch the defense and watch the special teams. Watch how those parts of the teams develop. The culture and chemistry is important. That's why coaches get fired sometimes, because, it goes haywire in the locker room. And that's something that you got to watch with McDaniel. Is he losing the locker room? I don't think he is. I think his staff, professional coaches and staff people are trying to keep, the train on the tracks. And that's what happens, when you're down. Players are easier to coach when you lose games in the NFL. To me, that's how I always felt. When you win, they give you the hand. I got this. They don't really listen. But when you can really get your coaching in when you've lost a game or two in that league. And so I think they're paying attention to detail a little bit more. I think in Miami, and we'll see tonight what happens.
It's only 2 weeks in, but pressure on Thursday Night Football. What happens with the Dolphins moving forward? Will they be the first team to make a quarterback change? And what does the future hold in Miami? And Tua, is there a belief that he can right the ship? Or is it one, we've seen it the last few years. He has been available. They paid him. It's not working out. And it could be a clean house situation. Or maybe they even sit on Tua for one more year. But it could be a Russell Wilson-like situation where the new coach comes in and cuts bait with the quarterback making a lot of money and trying to move forward. 505-246-0610, Sports Animal Hotline, and text line for you this morning. We got a lot to get into when it comes to the NFL. We'll look at the pressure on some of the 0-2 football teams who had high hopes that it's not going well right now. Still plenty of time to turn it around, but there is a couple kind of got to win games already this weekend. Really want to get into the Broncos and Chargers and what a start to the season for the Chargers this could be, as if they go 3-0 and it's 3 wins against division opponents. We got college football on lock as well. Jerry Palm, palmbrackets.com, joins us at 8:30. Another great slate of college football this weekend, and we'll get his thoughts on the Lobos beating UCLA, on UCLA firing Deshaun Foster, and what kind of job are the Bruins now in the Big Ten with what we've seen over the last few years from Chip Kelly just saying, peace out, I'm going to go be an offensive coordinator at Ohio State. Deshaun Foster going in there, and it's tough because you have money, but you don't really have the fan support. You got the Rose Bowl, but at this point in time, the Rose Bowl is kind of like the pit for a lot of people. The building's more famous than the team nationally. So what are they going to do? The Lobos still riding high off that victory, as they should. Was out at practice yesterday. The vibe of the Lobos as they turn their attention to New Mexico State. Both teams on bye this weekend. 505-246-0610. The number as well. You have fantasy football questions. It's Thursday. We're getting ready for Thursday Night Football. It's one dude in too many teams. Symbieta not here, so we'll do a fantasy football segment at 9. A bigger one tomorrow when he's back, but still here to take your questions, man. We're having fun. You got sit-start questions. I have some thoughts on the quarterbacks this week and with the injuries, which we're going to talk about coming up on the other side. But, of course, your fantasy football segment coming up at 9 o'clock. And it is the opening drive here on the Sports Animal.
Football season.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Roswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are One Eastern.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Burrito Express is proud to announce that we are the official burrito spot of ProView Networks. Since 1982, with 6 locations serving Albuquerque, Rio Rancho, and Roswell, the question is, red or green? Let's go to the burrito. Visit letsgototheburrito.com and order now.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
Who's going to play, who's in, who's out. Big one, Jaden Daniels and the Commanders. So Daniels dealing with a knee sprain he suffered late last Thursday against the Green Bay Packers. Head coach Dan Quinn said at his press conference that Daniels will not be on the field until at least Friday. And if he doesn't practice, well, he's not playing. And it's Marcus Mariota's season. And that line is really interesting because with the questions to Jaden Daniels, Commanders are still 3.5-point favorite. But Marcus Mariota is playing. The Jets have already rolled out Justin Fields for their game at Tampa Bay. It's going to be Tyrod Taylor. We know in Minnesota, J.J. McCarthy, the redshirt rookie, somehow, someway suffered an ankle injury in that game. He's on the shelf. It's going to be Carson Wentz season. Joe Burrow out at least a month. Now that was put out there about 3 months on his injury with that turf toe, the torn ligaments in his toe. But the Bengals have been talking, hey, maybe it could be a little bit sooner. But it's Jake Browning season. You're heading to week 3 with a lot of quarterback questions. The opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. JJ Buck, our quarterback, Ned James, with you this morning. Walpo holding it down, producing Adrian on ProView Networks. And that is why we talk about the quarterback position so much. Not just because it's hard to find enough starting quarterbacks, but we're talking each and every year you're getting 50, 60 guys that end up starting a game. So not only are you trying to find, hey, can this guy be a franchise quarterback? You're trying to figure out, hey, do you have a good enough QB2? And this is already 3 weeks into the season. You know, Jake Browning, he had extended run 2 years ago. He started 7 games for the Bengals, was 4-3, and that's a franchise that unfortunately has seen that one of the abilities of Joe Burrow is not being available. So they've stuck around with Jake Browning, and I'm interested in a player like that because he's been there for 3 years. They trust him. They don't change the offense when he's in there. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and they're still throwing the football down the field. That's evident last week when he had 2 touchdowns and 3 interceptions in their win over Jacksonville. It was a similar feeling to Marcus Mariota, backing up Jaden Daniels. And Washington, where they trust the veteran quarterback. But I'm really intrigued too by Carson Wentz. Getting his chance, he's bounced around a few different places after leaving Philadelphia. He was an MVP caliber quarterback until his knee injury, and then Nick Foles comes in, does the crazy run, outduels Tom Brady and the Patriots in the Super Bowl. Nick Foles gets the statue, and Carson Wentz gets the boot. And he steps into an opportunity as the team that won 14 games last year. That, all right, I'll believe J.J. McCarthy hurt his ankle, but there was zero reports of that after that game. None of the Minnesota beat writers referenced an ankle injury. No one talked about an ankle injury. There wasn't, hey, he was spotted in a walking boot, which you hear all the time. And then the next day it's like, oh, he's on the shelf. I'm fascinated about Kevin O'Connell and the Vikings this week and going with Carson Wentz because he kind of saw it last year, right, with Sam Darnold coming in. Talented guy, bounced around, and then, boom, got him back on track. Carson Wentz. This is a great opportunity for him to be that next in line of, hey, I can show you I can still play, and next year I can be Sam Darnold in Seattle. You name it, I can get you by.
Yeah. And, these guys who were first-round picks that are, now journeymen that are traveling around the NFL, because Carson was with the Kansas City Chiefs last year, and now he's with the Vikings. And, I always liked Carson Wentz. I always thought, he was just a phenomenal talent. I really thought he would kind of emerge on the scene at some point, but injuries kind of derailed him a little bit. He also word from some people that kind of know that kind of a problem child with certain things, that organizations had a little bit of trouble with him. That's why I think Philadelphia parted ways with him. But I mean, he's an interesting thing. Kevin O'Connell, McCarthy came out, guns blazing in that Bears game, and I thought he really looked good. I thought there was some
fourth quarter,
but I thought he had some potential, and then kind of had a little bit of a setback, and that happens with young quarterbacks. So I mean, there's nothing really, you can do sometimes when those guys have setbacks, other than maybe have them watch a little bit and then maybe come back a little later on. Jake Browning is interesting to me because I always thought he was one of the better quarterbacks coming out of Washington. He came out in the same draft with Burrow, and I thought he was better. And so, but I'm not always right. I could be wrong. And so I really like Jake Browning coming out of University of Washington. But Burrow has proven that he can really, be that guy aside from being injured a lot. He's really been, one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL. And then, I have an affinity for Tyrod Taylor because I was up in Cleveland with him. And so I always liked
good old Tyrod Taylor. He's the comfort food. He's always going to be there. Yeah. Don't know what we're going to do. I'll call Tyrod.
Yeah.
He's got you. He'll be there.
And he's just a professional through and through. It was interesting just talking to him because he's a shorter quarterback. You know how I am about these short quarterbacks. But he always did his due diligence. Really was a great athlete. He's getting up there in age now. I don't know if he can really move around like he used to, but we're seeing these guys, play longer and longer. These careers lasting longer and longer with some of these guys who can move a little bit. So I'm just curious to see how he plays this week, and Marcus Mariota as well. So it's interesting with Jaden Daniels. Are they playing better on defense? Dan Quinn's a defensive guy. I got to see better defense in Washington this year. And
I think that's to be determined. I think the realization when you look at last week's game is the Packers have elevated themselves across the board. Like, that's a defense that this season, especially as Michael Parsons, his snap count just continues to rise, that they're going to make teams look bad this year. Like, I believe that the Packers, they were a good defense, and then you add Parsons, and you become great. To me, it's a lot like, Philadelphia, this offensively, like, oh, you're good, and then you add Saquon Barkley, and you're like, wow. Or Baltimore, right? You're good, and then you add Derrick Henry, and you're like, okay, there's a different element here. That's just the way I feel about the Packers defense this year.
Those are really good examples, and like you said, I like it when teams get better on defense because that usually propels that team to another level. And so we'll see what happens with Green Bay, but I'm still curious to get to this first month. Everybody's coming out like gangbusters. These guys that are 2-0, everybody's predicting them to win the Super Bowl. Buffalo's already got the Super Bowl championship, and they've only played 2 games this year. So we got to wait and see. We got to let things kind of.
At some point, if you're Buffalo, you're like, we got to break through. The Chiefs are 0-2.
Right.
You had the amazing comeback against Baltimore, which could end up being huge because that could decide if you get to host that playoff game over the Ravens. Mm-hmm. It's early, but all of this stuff does stack up on top of each other. And what is interesting about the quarterback questions, the teams we see, a lot of times on the outside, you hear a name, right? Like a Tyrod Taylor. And fans are like, why is this dude a quarterback?
But why are they even talking about this guy?
Yeah, why? Like, this guy stinks, yada, yada. But it is as a coaching staff, do you want your backup quarterback to be a young guy that you're developing, or do you want him to be someone that you can trust?
Yeah, and most places want a veteran guy, someone who can kind of teach and help the other veteran guy who's going to go through some ups and downs during the course of the season. That's the ideal thing that people want. That's why Carson Wentz was in Kansas City, to kind of help with, even with
Patrick Mahomes there, they went. And then you see it this year. What did they do? They went and got Gardner Minshew, another guy that's been in the league for a while.
Right, and so everybody wants to kind of have that veteran backup guy, but it's really hard in this league because you got to fill in at other positions. You got to really be better on defense, and you got to be able to run the ball late in the season. And so those are the things that people are really looking for. These quarterbacks, are kind of a luxury to some extent, especially if your starter doesn't get hurt. It's kind of a nice luxury to have just in case something does go wrong. But the way the rules are now, quarterbacks typically rarely get hurt, even though Burrow, I just can't figure Burrow out because he just seems to get hurt all the time. And so it's kind of, is he going to be injury? Is he one of those injury-prone guys? He's just you just never know with that thing. But with Jalen Daniels, this is year 2. They figure you out that first year they don't have any tape on you, but once they get that tape on you, it's tough sledding. You've got to show some other things, and he's going to be forced into doing some things maybe he didn't have to do last year, this year. So we'll see. I mean, with these backups, I like the Jake Browning. I want to see if he can kind of prove me right because I thought he was a good quarterback coming out of college, and then
I think that
Carson
Cincinnati
Wentz.
has shown you that they trust him. That they've kept him around. This is 3rd year in Cincinnati. He started 7 games in the 2023 season with 4-3, and this is why we talk so much about quarterbacks. The challenge of finding a good starting quarterback, and then who is your backup going to be? Are you going to go young? And maybe it's like Cleveland, where you have Joe Flacco, the 40-year quarterback, backed up by Dylan Gabriel, ... Shedeur Sanders. Or in some of these cases, we're talking about the been there, done that veteran that is stepping in at quarterback this weekend. 505-246-0610, Sports Animal Hotline and text line for you this morning. We come back on the other side. Speaking of quarterbacks, how you feeling about that Lobo quarterback? And yes, the talk is the run game, what the Lobos did on the ground at UCLA. The last 2 games, we're seeing what Jack Lane is going to be, how he is executing this offense, and how should Lobo football be feeling about the development of their quarterback to this point in the season. We'll hit that next here on the Sports Animal.
This report paid for by the
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Roswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are One Eastern.
Burrito Express is proud to announce that we are the official burrito spot of ProView Networks. Since 1982, with 6 locations serving Albuquerque, Rio Rancho, and Roswell, the question is, red or green? Let's go to the burrito. Visit letsgototheburrito.com and order now.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of celebrity green, synthetic putting greens, and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts.
Go State. Next Saturday at University Stadium, 2 p.m. kickoff. Our quarterback, Ned James, already been diving into the film on both of these teams. Can't wait. Super excited for next week. I haven't been this excited for a Louisville football game in 8 years. Because the bowl season definitely had some moments. That last bowl, near the 9-win team. But going back-to-back bowl games was a lot of fun. I was very hyped about the offense and what Bob Davie and company were doing. Back they worked Lamar Jordan and Austin Apodaca together in the offense. I was excited about that. But in terms of a buzz across the fan base, it's been a long time since you've had this, not just the New Mexico State game, but an overall feeling that there's positivity surrounding the program. And you know what? Sometimes it's just good timing. And the timing to beat UCLA before you host New Mexico State is great. for this fan base.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's the buzz around the alumni guys. I mean, just talking to those guys that I know, it's just the excitement and enthusiasm, particularly the guys out of California, because when you beat a big time team in California and you're from that LA metro area or anywhere, Orange County to the Valley to even out east in Rancho Cucamonga and Fontana, all those places, everybody hears about it. And so it just gives you a great sense of pride. And, the Rio Grande rivalry and the in-state rivalry with players that are from the state, particularly people who grew up here in New Mexico, is a big deal. It really is. Just listening to Dontrell at the alumni meeting, I thought he was going to try and suit up this week, come back, make a comeback. But, he's really excited. He's a New Mexico guy.
At this point in time, if he wanted to.
Yeah, he probably has some eligibility.
He could pop 10 carries on him with what's going on.
Yeah. But, just the enthusiasm from guys, particularly the local guys who grew up in New Mexico. They understand the importance of this rivalry. You get those bragging rights year-round in the state. And, I just enjoy going out and seeing, the enthusiasm. And Eck has brought a fresh voice to the program. And I think people really, really enjoy hearing, just some new ideas about where this program can go, which I think Coach has done a good job of communicating to everyone that's trying to be involved with the football program. I think one of the things that he brought to New Mexico and to the football program that's really been, something I've watched from afar, not being on the inside, not knowing exactly how the coaches see him. But that Jack Lane, I mean, just watching him,
the quarterback.
Yeah, just but not so much the skill set, but just the leadership stuff. Just watching him interact with his teammates, the entire team, not just the offensive guys, is just special to see. For me, as a former quarterback, just watching that, I try not to watch the core. I try to watch the defense more than the offense because I don't like to get too judgmental offensively. But he's just caught my eye, recently in the last couple of weeks or so, just with his leadership in practices with the rest of the group of guys outside of, his particular group, the quarterbacks or receivers. I mean, I'm watching him talk to linemen, defensive guys. His natural leadership, I think, is what I think Coach Eck is really probably feels lucky to have with his team, particularly bringing them over from an FCS school into an FBS program. And it's really been kind of a surprise for me. Moving forward, it's still going to have to be, you're going to have to, put forth some wins. I think he's on the right track with how he's helping the team with his passing percentage. I look at that a lot.
Yeah, 66.7% completion percentage.
Yeah.
Has not turned it over since the Michigan game. And the opportunity's going to be there because you say it all the time. We know it's in sports. When they have film, how do you adjust? So these upcoming opponents in New Mexico State, watch that fourth quarter against Idaho State. Watch that game against UCLA, where it was the line of scrimmage running the football. The Lobos have a great stable of backs right now. This is a room that is living up to the hype, is worthy of that hype. When you look at Scott Trey Humphrey being the lead back, Damon Bankston, also his versatility out of the backfield. He's his second leading receiver on this Lobo team. And I was really impressed with G.J. McKinney. So there's a lot to like there. But then, all right, they're going to bring an extra person into the box. They're going to start playing you a little bit differently now. And how does Lane take advantage of that? Because he's risk adverse right now, which is fine. It worked. They didn't need him throwing the football against UCLA. They didn't need him doing anything crazy. But there's going to be moments where they have to make some plays downfield. And it's, all right, not just can he make that throw, is someone on the outside going to be able to?
Yeah, and I don't know if it's necessarily risk averse. I just think that he's making the right decisions right now. And that's what I think the coaching staff expects him to do. And so as a guy who's been in their program, he knows what their expectations are. And so, they may be guys who are probably a little bit more talented than he is. And that happens in the NFL too. Coaches just there's a level of
it's execution.
Yeah.
One of the things I do want to get your thoughts on real quick, and because you pointed out a couple times, is even in the screen game, that's a big part of what the Lobos do, an extension of the run game. But you were pointing out that even some of those passes, there's a skill to that you might not realize just watching the game. You think, the quarterback's just dumping the football off to the running back, or we see a lot of tight end screens too.
Yeah, and the screen game is always important. I've always thought in college and pro, the screen game and how you execute that is really important, and it could really propel your offense. It's kind of a handoff that's really not a handoff. It's beyond the line of scrimmage, but it's a pass. But I mean, the way he's been executing them and the way the screens have developed and how they put them together has really been really nice to see. And they've got a lot of other tricks in the bag that he participates in and he executes at a high level, and that's what's helping this team. The screen game, the way he has performed in these 3 games that they've played so far has been great. We're going into conference here in another 2-3 weeks, and so they're going to have stuff on film. So you're going to have to be able to adjust, and I think that's why they like him in there. I think they know exactly what their plan is moving forward, and things that they can add and not have to worry about whether he could execute them or not, because they've done them before when they were at Idaho. So I think he'll be able to adjust. It's just we're at a different level now, so we're going to see much better athletes, and I'm going to see if his game steps up to the level of athleticism we're going to see in these conference games. Now, UCLA, that proved right there that he can keep his composure, and that the line, which we thought earlier in the year, out of all the groups, offense, defense, special teams, we thought the offensive line would be okay. And so they're proven to be a little bit better than okay with this running game. And so we just want to see as they go down the line here with these upcoming opponents, particularly New Mexico State's not going to be a cakewalk, but they got them at home. We have them at home, so that's an advantage for us. And then, we'll start going on the road, and we're starting to see if some of this stuff can kind of translate as you go on the road.
Jack Lane versus Logan Fife is going to be a really interesting quarterback battle because they're veteran guys. Both played FCS football last year, played at a high level, played postseason football in the FCS. Jack Lane in the Idaho offense, Logan Fife down in that Aggie offense, with asking Logan to do a little bit more downfield, that spread offense, passing game, some of the Texas Tech concepts, because David Yost, the OC down in Mexico State, was in that Mike Leach kind of passing tree. So that's going to be a lot of fun as we continue the build up to New Mexico and New Mexico State Saturday, the 27th, out there at University Stadium. 505-246-0610, Sports Animal Hotline and text line for you this morning. We come back on the other side. Starter or bullpen? What will be the best use of the best player in Major League Baseball? That's next on the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Roswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are One Eastern.
Burrito Express is proud to announce that we are the official burrito spot of ProView Networks. Since 1982, with 6 locations serving Albuquerque, Rio Rancho, and Roswell, the question is, red or green? Let's go to the burrito. Visit letsgototheburrito.com and order now.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of Celebrity Green synthetic putting greens and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of Celebrity Green synthetic putting greens and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744. Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every...
We've discussed this over the last couple of weeks, but as you head towards the postseason, the final stretch run in the regular season of Major League Baseball, what do you do? How do you set up your team? There's some really good teams in Major League Baseball, especially if you just look at the National League. The series we're watching this week, the Dodgers and Phillies. Dodgers bounced back, 5-0 win last night, but Philadelphia clinched the NL East a couple days ago. They have a 12.5 game lead over the Mets, 91 wins, and they're actually trying to chase down the Brewers for best record in the National League. Milwaukee 93 and 59. But the Dodgers holding a 2-game lead over the Padres, get the win last night. The biggest question is, what do you do with Shohei Ohtani? Start him or use him in the bullpen? He had his 13th start of the season. 2 days ago, went 5 innings, didn't give up a run, and then the bullpen came in, and the bullpen has been very bad for the Dodgers this season. J.J. Buck, quarterback, Ned James with you. Well, Dave Roberts, the manager, said, quote, "I know we're going to be talking about it," and that is Ohtani out of the bullpen. He added, "I think the one thing you can say, though, is that we use him once every 7 days, 8, 9 days right now between starts. How does that change if you go to the bullpen?" I still think the best use of Shohei as a starter, and if you work him in 4 or 5 man rotation, maybe it's another guy you look at bringing him out of the pen, because I don't think you want to add that stress to Shohei, who is pitching well, but he has had 2 Tommy John surgeries. So I can understand thinking about it. I still think the best use for Shohei is a starter, and then maybe one of the other guys you look at and say, all right, could you be someone that we could use every third day out of the bullpen?
Yeah, this is a tough one for the manager, Dave Roberts. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, because your needs are your needs. I mean, if you need a bullpen guy, he is the guy who could really help you. I mean, he just closed us out. Us meaning us Americans, when they played against us in that Japan versus World Baseball Classic. I mean, he closed us out. He shut Major League Baseball players down, all-stars down, and so that's something to really think about. I mean, that's something you could really benefit from, particularly when you get to the playoffs. And so, it's going to be a tough decision, and I agree with the way Dave Roberts is approaching it. You really do have to consider all options. You're trying to win a championship, and so when you're trying to win a championship, you want to put your best foot forward, and sometimes it's not always the conventional way. I mean, people may think it's starting pitching, but the way baseball is nowadays, it's really the closers that are really kind of important as the season goes on. Now, starting pitching is important as well. But at the same time, if you can get a guy who can come in and close people out, boy, it really, really helps.
Yeah, and I think the challenge then is the timing of it all. And that is where you're at in the lineup. And if Shohei, he's due up third, is he able to go down the bullpen and warm up versus his at bat being on the bases if you want him to come in the next inning? So that's the challenge that you'd have if you're the Dodgers, because you're not taking him out of the lineup. He's your designated hitter. But if it gets to a point late in the game, 1-run game, you're like, well, he has a really important at-bat coming up, but then you're thinking, how do we warm him up if you want him to come in and close this game in the top of the 9th inning or bottom of the inning? And so that's what would make it challenging for Shohei going to the bullpen, because you're still relying on his bat. Yeah. And so you're looking at, all right, Emmett Sheehan, who's done it some, maybe Clayton Kershaw, but I think that we'll probably have that 4-man rotation: Yamamoto, Snell, Glasnow, Kershaw, and Ohtani.
Yeah.
So your 5-man rotation.
Yeah.
And then maybe look at one of Sheehan kind of going in there, because that's the thing for the Dodgers. That is the one issue, is the bullpen, is the back end. And they've spent money, they've traded for guys, and Tanner Scott's blown up this year. We've seen other guys blow up. And that's what Dave Roberts crushed last year, was managing the pen.
Yeah, he did. He did crush it last year. But you have to, the conventional way sometimes is not always the best way. And you have to go back to the World Baseball Classic. How did they warm him up to come in and close us out? Then, so, I mean, maybe there's...
Well, you also know that that's the last game.
Yeah, but there's a wrinkle to it. There's something that they did in that World Baseball Classic to get him to finish off, our best here in the United States. So we'll see.
505-246-0610, Sports Animal Hotline and text line for you this morning. We got a national keyword coming up, so stay tuned for that. Jerry Palm, palmbrackets.com, joins us at 8:30 to dive into the college football weekend. What's next for UCLA? Lobos went in there, beat them on both sides of the football. They fired their coach. Is that a good job in college football? I mean, head coach of the UCLA Bruins? Talk to Jerry Palm about that. It is the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Join 95.9 FM.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Roswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are One Eastern.
Burrito Express is proud to announce that we are the official burrito spot of ProView Networks. Since 1982, with 6 locations serving Albuquerque, Rio Rancho, and Roswell, the question is, red or green? Let's go to the burrito. Visit letsgototheburrito.com and order now.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Roswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are One Eastern.
Burrito Express is proud to announce that we are the official burrito spot of ProView Networks. Since 1982, with 6 locations serving Albuquerque, Rio Rancho, and Roswell, the question is, red or green? Let's go to the burrito. Visit letsgototheburrito.com and order now. Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep.
Chip caliber team. So what's he not seeing with his squad? We should be going to the football finishing hard. We talk about it all the time with the offensive players that our fundamentals, our finish, and our technique. They need to show up in walkthrough. They need to show up on the practice field. That's how it shows up on game day. Simple things of how do we properly block, how do we catch the ball, how do we block after the catch, ball security, and things like that. So Ben Johnson, he ain't keeping it behind closed doors. How do you feel about this rookie head coach putting his team on notice in the meeting?
Well, he's saying all the right things. I mean, the fundamentals. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're over at Tower Park here in Albuquerque and you're watching the Yaffle kids practice. You know, they're going through the fundamentals. You go to the high schools around here, they're working the fundamentals. I go to practice over at UNM, they're working fundamentals. And in the pros, you work fundamentals. Yeah, I mean, it's his responsibility as the head coach to make sure that they're, adhering to the fundamentals of football. Yeah. You're blocking, tackling. I go out. That's one of the things I enjoy about watching UNM's practice is the fundamental period they have, especially on defense. I mean, I really enjoy that fundamental period that they have on defense and how they use the circuit to teach basic fundamentals that people really don't understand are critical and crucial when it's late in the game and it's gut check time. And I think, UNM's done a good job with that, just watching their practices. But I think for Ben Johnson, when you're in the NFL and you're dealing with professional athletes, they understand, the fundamentals and what they have to achieve in order to get their jobs done, because it is a job. Although, college sports is now starting to mirror a little bit the NFL with salaries. You have a responsibility as a professional to understand and do your job. And I think, to point out that, there's things that fundamentally they're not doing correctly, it's not really the player's responsibility to get that accomplished in practice. It's the coach's responsibility to make sure they understand these are the expectations we're supposed to have while we're at practice and how we are to practice, and, to call them out during practice. To do it through the media, I think a little disingenuous. I mean, maybe you could say, hey, we didn't have a good practice today, those kind of things, but to kind of point out the fundamentals, not hustling, that kind of stuff, little much, I think. You can kind of, just address your team that way and then go from there. But, he's a young coach. I mean, he's on the job training himself as a new head coach. Had a good quarterback, a quarterback that played under center, so kind of had that coming in. I think Caleb missed all that, never played under center, and they've got him playing under center a little bit. And I don't know how you teach a guy who's never been under center how to all of a sudden go under center and play. It's one of the things that I'm amazed at, in professional sports now, that it's kind of evolved towards the college game, which has kind of been this whole RPO type of deal. And maybe Caleb was used to that, from high school through college, and, he wasn't prepared for it. So he came into the pros, and it's a different game. And, it's taken him a while. I mean, he may have the skills, but he may not have the fundamentals down yet to play that position at this level, which is the NFL. And it's hard enough to win a game in the NFL. It's even harder when you're behind the eight ball as far as your fundamental playing underneath the center and the NFL game in and of itself.
My game, Dallas at Chicago this weekend. The Cowboys coming off that wild back-and-forth contest over the Giants. Dak Prescott looking pretty good in that offense, has weapons on the outside, and CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens. How about Javonte Williams? The run game that they've been able to develop with that veteran, the signing from the Broncos in the offseason. He has some challenges up front. Center is out for maybe up to 2 months for the Cowboys. But you're going in there, and you got a feisty, confident Dallas team. And then Ben Johnson that's trying to set the tone for this franchise. And, yes, it starts with Caleb Williams, but it is so much more because he is a young quarterback that this is essentially year one.
Yeah.
You got to remember his rookie season, they fired him. And so that is why Ben Johnson is here now in year two and trying to get him to work under center more and trying to get him to understand this offense. And, yeah, the pressure is going to be on him. He's the number one overall pick. We all understand that. But then you look at the rest of the Chicago Bears, and I didn't think they were going to be this bad defensively. They gave up 52 points to the Lions. That's 73 points against in the last 5 quarters. They got a fourth quarter comeback from the Vikings, that entire game against Detroit. And everything's going to be on Caleb Williams, but how are you supporting him? How's that rest of the team stepping up?
Right. And that's a head coach. I mean, he's responsible. The head coach, now we've talked about this for years, JJ. The head coach is the head coach of the offense, the head coach of the defense, and the head coach of the special teams. You're responsible for all of it. And so it's not just, this whole thing with Caleb Williams and his development. You have to create a culture within the entire team. And as far as Dallas goes, losing the center, that's probably, in my opinion, the one position that you doesn't necessarily have to be the best guy on the offensive line. You can kind of get away with a lesser talent at the center position in the NFL, even though the snap is important, more so than any other position, I think. So I think Dallas will be all right from that standpoint. But Chicago's issues with this head coach and a young quarterback, with a second coordinator in 2 years, it's going to be difficult. And transitioning to the NFL game and the style of play that this particular coach wants to use can be kind of tough for a young guy.
And it is a lot different style than what Jared Goff gives you.
Right.
He had a veteran quarterback comfortable playing under center, comfortable in the pocket, all things that we're yet to see Caleb Williams get to at this point in time. And I want to get your thoughts on another first-year coach, kind of what we're seeing with Liam Cohen in the Jaguars, and it's this, is it played up more because it's the NFL? That moment last week where you saw he was on the sidelines kind of getting into it with Trevor Lawrence, and then Trevor Lawrence kind of waved him off. Is that one of the things that fans, the media, that we see something like that and we're like, oh my gosh, and make more of it than it is?
Well, Trevor Lawrence is his third head coach. To me, the most important relationship you have on an NFL team, and probably even college, is the head coach and the quarterback. They got to get along, and so if there's some friction between those two, they better figure it out quick. Liam's an offensive guy. It doesn't matter whether you're an offensive or defensive. I know people get caught up in, he's an offensive coach, he's a defensive coach. It doesn't really matter. But that relationship, particularly with a franchise quarterback, you've got to figure it out. You've got to figure out, and you got to keep things in house. I mean, you can't have this whole, thing where guys are seeing that you and the quarterback, the franchise guy, don't get along on the sideline, because then it kind of trickles down to the other positions and the other players. You got enough problems with guys who, every team's got Antonio Brown on their team. They've got a diva somewhere, and so you've got enough problems there as the head coach. And now, your franchise quarterback and you are on the same page. For this particular instance, it might have just been, something that's minor. We don't know, but at the same time, that relationship, and you see it here with UNM. The relationship between the quarterback and the head coach. It's an important one, and it's a trust thing. It's a you have to trust that guy. He's going to be the leader of your team, whether you like it or not. And so, from that standpoint, you have to find a way to make amends, and I'm sure they will. I think that's just kind of a one-off. But, it's something that people are going to pay attention to as the season goes on.
505-246-0610, Sports Animal Hotline and text line for you this morning. We got Jerry Palm, palmbrackets.com, coming up at 8:30. Josh Hushan will join us at 9:30. The Topes putting a bow on their season over the next few days. Day baseball, an opportunity to get out, enjoy some lunch at the park. We'll talk with Josh at 9:30. It is Taco Week. Don't forget about that. Got another great deal for you coming up. It's opening drive here on the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Roswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are One Eastern.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of Celebrity Green synthetic putting greens and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744. Burrito Express is proud to announce that we are the official burrito spot of ProView Networks. Since 1982, with 6 locations serving Albuquerque, Rio Rancho, and Roswell, the question is, red or green? Let's go to the burrito. Visit letsgototheburrito.com and order now.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gala Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gala Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Burrito Express is proud to announce that we are the official burrito spot of ProView Networks. Since 1982, with 6 locations serving Albuquerque, Rio Rancho, and Roswell, the question is, red or green? Let's go to the burrito. Visit letsgototheburrito.com and order now.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with...
You know, with our salsa, it's magical.
It is. And, man, the street tacos.
Street tacos, man. I can't live without street tacos.
Yeah, for sure.
JJ knows that. I mean, you probably learned it for the first time right now. I get them, even when I'm in Los Angeles, I get them here when we meet, do radio. But just tell me a little bit about the style of street tacos that you guys make at your place.
You know, it's just a small 4.5-inch tortilla that we source locally, and the flavor, the bold flavors, you know, even the street tacos of the brisket. We do carne asada tacos, we do fish tacos, shrimp tacos. It's great. It's a lot.
That's music to my ears, man. The fish tacos, I can eat those. I can eat brisket. I can eat chicken, beef, carne asada, all of it.
Yeah, so we're going to get one of everything next time we're doing a Lobo football road game. Cocina Azul, 12th and Mountain, so it's right around the corner.
Yeah.
Right here downtown. This is what the sweet deal is good for. So for $30, you get yourself $60 to spend at Cocina Azul. So it goes live at 9 o'clock this morning on our website, sportsanimалabq.com. Of course, you're going to go for the tacos, but you guys have an incredible menu of so many good
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, we're proud. You know, we keep it simple. We keep it, you know, what we've had over all the years that my parents started back 16, 17 years ago. And so, yeah, but, you know, our chili's our staple, our salsas are a big hit, and, you know, everything else comes along with it. It's awesome.
And that's one of the things with a great restaurant is, you know, you have the core of things that don't change because it's
for sure.
You don't want to mess with happy. When something is good, when you have the recipes, but just in terms of when you do maybe look to add something or get some flair, what are some of the things you guys look for?
You know, just to kind of follow the trends a little bit. You know, right now breakfast seems to be the trendy thing, so we're going to push our menu in that direction. And then we installed a new bar. We remodeled the store last year, and so we're pushing, you know, the breakfast bar. So come by, have some mimosas or a Bloody Mary, and have some tacos. It's awesome.
There you go. You're all set. Cocina Azul, 12th and Mountain. The sweet deal today for Taco Week goes live at 9 a.m. So just $30 will get you $60. Frank, appreciate you, man. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
For coming in, and we're getting Cocina Azul next road game, which, of course, we got New Mexico State at San Jose State. We're locking it in.
Awesome.
We'll be at
Thank
your
you.
place. Appreciate you guys.
Thanks,
Frank,
guys.
coming down, joining us for Taco Week. We come back on the other side. It's Jerry Palm, palmbrackets.com, college football. Great games this weekend. What does UCLA do now after the Lobos beat them, got their coach fired? And what does he think of New Mexico? Jerry Palm joins us next here on the Sports Animal.
Brought to you by Lazy Boy Furniture Gallery.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of celebrity green, synthetic putting greens, and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744. Burrito Express is proud to announce that we are the official burrito spot of ProView Networks. Since 1982, with 6 locations serving Albuquerque, Rio Rancho, and Roswell, the question is, red or green? Let's go to the burrito. Visit letsgototheburrito.com and order now.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of Celebrity Green synthetic putting greens and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Roswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are One Eastern.
Burrito Express is proud to announce that we are the official burrito spot of ProView Networks. Since 1982, with 6 locations serving Albuquerque, Rio Rancho, and Roswell, the question is, red or green? Let's go to the burrito. Visit letsgototheburrito.com and order now.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all.
So for both the Lobos and the Aggies, as we get ready for the Rio Grande rivalry, the 27th New Mexico State of New Mexico, and there's a different vibe around here now. UNM goes into the Rose Bowl. UCLA beats the Bruins 35-10. Sean Foster gets fired. People are buzzing. And yes, they made a bad team look bad, but it's been a while since the Lobos have done that, and they beat a Big Ten opponent, and that resonates. The opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. J.J. Buck, our quarterback, Ned James, and you know what time it is. It is Jerry Palm time, palmbrackets.com. Jerry, good morning. You are on the opening drive. And, Bob, can you hit that? Because this switcher's not working. Thank you so much for that. What's up, Jerry? How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
Doing good, man. I'm telling you, it's a different buzz around here now with college football. All of a sudden, people are paying attention. What do you make of what the Lobos did and then UCLA moving on from Deshaun Foster?
Yeah, Jeff called it last week. You know, he said he thought New Mexico had a pretty good chance of going up there and getting the win when we talked last week, and he was right. Moving on from Deshaun Foster just seemed inevitable. You know, he's been on a hot seat even, during his year last year where he was, really almost an interim coach. I mean, it wasn't really, but it was pretty clear that he was getting a tryout, and while that is pretty much gone now. So it just had to happen. And UCLA, of course, as an interim coach who has experience as an interim coach, because he was Fresno State's interim coach last year. So I don't know if that helps or not, but UCLA is, as a Purdue fan, we were, we had the worst year in program history last year. We were the worst team in the Big Ten and possibly in several countries, but we won't be this year because it'll be hard to be worse than UCLA has been.
Yeah, UCLA. Now, the one thing my co-host here, Ned James, said, hey, you're getting paid to be in L.A. Well, okay, that's nice. But just overall, what is, I guess, the expectation for UCLA football now?
Get us to basketball season. It should be better than it is, but they've really not set themselves up very well. They're playing at the Rose Bowl. They're nowhere near their campus. It's never full. Even when they've been decent, it's just not. It's not easy for their fans to get to. It's not easy for their students to get to. It makes no sense at all for them to be playing games at the Rose Bowl. I think that's a significant disadvantage for them. But UCLA should be better than they are for sure. They should be a bowl quality team every year. But playing at the Rose Bowl is not their only problem. They're in the same city with USC. They're in the Big Ten now. It's a little bit different. So they're traveling a lot. But right now it's a major rebuild. And, they're going to have to bring in a coach and somebody that they're willing to have patience with to do that rebuild.
Tim Skipper is a good friend of mine at UCLA. He's the interim coach now, and I really like Tim, and I think he'll do a good job there. But excuses. It's L.A. There's 8 million people within a 20-mile radius. I mean, I don't really buy that. I get to beat up my friends in L.A. because I'm from Los Angeles on the fact that we own UCLA and that we beat them in basketball. They took our point guard after we beat them in basketball. Now we beat them in football. And so all my friends are crying about, the poor head coach. That's really, to me, I think it's just an excuse. But I don't even want to talk about UCLA. I want to go to Arch Manning because the Manning family and Arch Manning at Texas, to me, and this is probably just speculation, I think there's 4 quarterbacks, high school quarterbacks in the state of Texas every year that could really be a little bit better than Arch. Tell me what you think about as far as, the ranking of Arch Manning coming out and how he's played so far, and where will Texas go? Is there a chance? Is there a possibility that maybe they can make a change?
A quarterback? Well,
yes.
I guess we'll see. He's his first-year starter, so it requires a little bit of patience. Obviously, game 1 at Ohio State, Ohio State's going to make a lot of good offensive players look bad. He had a really rough first half in particular last week, but they got the win. So, it's just going to require some patience, and he's under a tremendous microscope. That's a lot of pressure. Just the name alone is a lot of pressure. So he's got to learn to handle it. I don't think giving up on the guy 3 games in is a good idea. But they've got goals for this season, so if things go sideways, they lose another game, they may have to make a change. But I don't think it's time to jump on the panic button with both feet just yet.
Jerry Palm, PalmBrackets.com, joining us on the opening drive. Early kickoff, but probably one of my favorite games of the weekend. Texas Tech at Utah. Of course, we're big Devin Dampier fans here, watching him at UNM last year. But that offense is real fun game, and just Utah's ceiling this season. Are they a legit playoff contender?
Yeah, I think they're one of half a dozen. In fact, this game is two of half a dozen teams in that league that could win it. And it's going to be. It'll come down to, can you win a key road game at some point? Probably to get that win, which hasn't happened yet, I don't think. But it's these are two really good teams. This should be a fun game. But the Big 12 is going to be like this every week. There's going to be a game between. There's going to be at least one game between two teams that are capable of winning this league. And I think this is going to be the most fun conference to watch. Utah's off to a great start. They're putting up some big numbers, but they haven't played anybody yet. So this is going to be their first real test. Fortunately for them, they get it at home. And for Texas Tech, also their first real test. And they've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of their next 6 on the road. So, now this is the toughest of those games probably, because they have to go to Arizona State, they have to go to Kansas State. So, Texas Tech is going to win this league. They're going to have to steal at least one of these road games, I think. So it's a big game for both of these teams, but it's going to be like that every week in the Big 12.
Out of the top 10 teams in college football, outside of Ohio State, which team do you believe will be the toughest out in the college football playoffs at the end of this season?
The teams in the current top 10.
And the teams in the current top 10. I mean, that's in Penn State, LSU, Miami, Georgia, Oregon, Florida State, Texas.
I guess I'd say Georgia, because they're there every year. They know what to do. They don't win it every year, but they're right there. That's a program that's, winning titles, competing for titles. It's really just like Ohio State in that regard, where they always seem to be there. So I would say Georgia.
And Jerry, mentioned Purdue. What happened last year? Well, off to a 2-1 start. They're at Notre Dame. What do you make of the Irish? 2 losses by a combined 4 points, 0-2 start to the season.
Yeah, I mean, really a couple of gut punch losses. That one Saturday, A&M getting a touchdown with less than 15 seconds to go to win that game, and especially at home, I mean, realistically ends Notre Dame's playoff hopes, because they can't win a conference to get an automatic berth, so they have to earn their way into the at-large. And if they're 10-2, look at the rest of their schedule. Who's their wins? Who's their good wins? Even if they finish 10-2, USC at home, Boise? Well, maybe you'd have thought so earlier, but probably not now. But that's it. This is where we've talked about this before on this show, is that the ACC portion of their schedule doesn't help them. They're not getting enough quality opponents this year on their schedule. I don't think they're going to have trouble with Purdue. Purdue has picked a bad time to go to Notre Dame. I just think that even if they win their way out, it's going to be hard for them to have a compelling resume for selection for this tournament. But obviously that depends on what other teams do too.
Yeah, just real quick, John Mateer, Oklahoma. What do you think of him finishing as the top-ranked player? I like to talk about him because our Lobos beat him last year when they were ranked, and now he's at Oklahoma. Where do you think he stands as far as the Heisman?
You talking about Mateer?
Yes, at Oklahoma. He was at Washington State last year. We beat him, so I'm bringing him up.
Yeah, I mean, he had a good game against Michigan, right? That's a pretty good game. So, but he's going to have to do that now when he gets in his league, right? Because it's, they're going to play Auburn this week. Now they get him at home, but they're going to start seeing some teams that can, defend pretty well, and that are really physical and very athletic. So if he can continue to put that, Michigan is like that too, especially defensively. But if he can continue to play like that against this level of competition, then yeah, he'll be part of the Heisman Trophy talk. But they also have to win enough games, because if you're 9-3, I don't care how good your quarterback is. If you're 9-3, you're probably not in the Heisman conversation. And you're probably not going to win. And I think all the way back to like Drew Brees. Drew Brees was on a 9-win Purdue team. Now that was an 11-game schedule, but he did not win the Heisman Trophy, even though he was, the best quarterback in that class, because the other two guys who finished ahead of him were the quarterback for the number 1 and number 2 team in the country. So, it's yes, big numbers help, but your team also has to do well.
PalmBrackets.com. Check it out. Football is rolling. Basketball right around the corner. Always awesome talking with Jerry Palm. Appreciate you, man. Enjoy the weekend.
All right, thanks. You too.
That is Jerry Palm, PalmBrackets.com, joining us on the opening drive this morning. And now it's time to get out your cell phone, and it's your shot at winning $1,000. It's $5K a day right here on 95.9 FM and AM 610, The Sports Animal. All you got to do is text the national keyword right now to 95819. Text BANK, B-A-N-K, BANK, to 95819. That's the national keyword, your chance at winning $1,000. We'll text you back to confirm your entry. Of course, data and messaging rates may apply. And please don't text and drive. But 95819, today's keyword is BANK, B-A-N-K, for your shot at winning $1,000. It is the opening drive right here on The Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66, built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66, built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Roswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are One Eastern.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Burrito Express is proud to announce that we are the official burrito spot of ProView Networks. Since 1982, with 6 locations serving Albuquerque, Rio Rancho, and Roswell, the question is, red or green? Let's go to the burrito. Visit letsgototheburrito.com and order now. Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of celebrity green, synthetic putting greens, and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Roswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are One Eastern.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Burrito Express is proud to announce that we are the official burrito spot of ProView Networks. Since 1982, with 6 locations serving Albuquerque, Rio Rancho, and Roswell, the question is, red or green? Let's go to the burrito. Visit letsgototheburrito.com and order now.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one.
I always appreciate the conversation with Jared Palm, palmbrackets.com. Really excited. I'm talking about Devin Dampier and Utah running the same exact offense they ran last year. Yeah. Jason Beck, the OC, goes there, and Kyle Whittingham is enjoying it so far. Texas Tech at Utah, 17-16. Utah 3.5-point favorites. 10 a.m. kickoff on Saturday. Talked about the big games. How about Bryce Underwood, Michigan 2-1, going to 3-0 Nebraska? Wolverines are 1.5-point favorites in that game. Dylan Raiola, one of those guys that was a lot of hype last year. Can he be one of those quarterbacks that develops? JJ Buck and Ed James with you here on the Sports Animal. And you brought up Arch Manning, and we should have seen this coming. And I'll raise my hand. I was one of the ones that I got fooled by the last one. Can Arch Manning develop into a good quarterback? Yes. But Arch Manning is not the number 1 pick in next year's draft. Before the season even started, it was, should teams tank for Arch Manning? Will Arch Manning be the next quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys? Because everyone thought they were going to be awful this season. They traded Michael Parsons, got those extra first-round picks. Oh, of course, he was going to be the quarterback of the Cowboys. You can finally get rid of Dak Prescott and move on from that bump. Hold up. Arch Manning, it's the last name. And I think Arch Manning, when you listen to him at Media Day, how he handles it right, because he knows that there is a lot given to him, a lot put on his plate that he hasn't earned yet. And so I appreciate the way he handles it. But you've talked about this before, Nick. He played at a really low level.
Right.
And then you ask him to step in right away with the team that has, aspirations to win multiple college football playoff games. And we should have expected there would be a little bit more bumps in the road, even with him being there for 2 years.
Yeah, and, you're coming into Texas. The state of Texas is just different, folks. I'm just telling you. They've got 4 guys every year that can play that quarterback position at a high level that are all around the country. And I just thought coming in there, being able to sit and watch for a year, and he's got some skill set. He's got a really nice skill set that he would be a lot better than what he is. And it just goes to show you, you got to be able to play at the highest level, even coming out of high school. And I don't think being in Louisiana, not playing in the city, with McDonough 35 and some of those big schools in the city in New Orleans, playing at the little private school, I thought they get a little bit of hype. Those guys get hyped because a lot of times in those private schools, now I remember coaching college, my first college year, we'd get these guys who were state players of the year out of Denver or somewhere like that, and then they'd come to a school like Arizona State. We'd get these kids out of Oakland that won one game, whatever, and they would just whip them like it wasn't anything because they didn't have the resources that a lot of these kids have at these private schools. Mm-hmm. And so those kids in the private, sometimes they're as good as they're going to get when they reach their peak in high school. And so you got to have room to grow when you come to this college level. And he's had time to grow because he's got to sit on the bench and watch for a year. And so for him to come out of the gate like this, I think is just a sign. And, with all fairness to the young man, he's still developing. He's still a young player, and you never know what's going to happen down the road. But just to be in the state of Texas and to have that level of performance, people in Texas.
It's hype, man. It's expectation.
Yeah. They know their kids in Texas that play football can do, just as bad, if not, but a little bit better. Yeah, they could. You could do just as bad with the Texas guy that you did with the guy from Louisiana. So that's the thing he's going to have to battle with people in Texas at the University of Texas.
Texas hosting Sam Houston State this weekend, and I think the quarterback play around the country has been fascinating to start the season because there's guys with high expectations that have kind of underperformed. Yeah. Cade Klubnik at Clemson, and the start that they're off to, and there was a lot of hype around him. You look at, I mentioned Bryce Underwood and Dylan Raiola. Lenore Sellers gets hurt, and then so our boy Diego Pavia gets it done again on the road for Vandy.
You can say whatever you want. He's taken the SEC by storm. Here's this kid out of the city of Albuquerque that's gone into the SEC, even when he wasn't in the SEC, and whipped up on those boys. And you can say whatever you want. He's done a job that a lot of guys only wish they could do in the SEC.
505-246-0610, Sports Animal Hotline and text line for you this morning. We'll have a half edition of Two Idiots, Too Many Teams coming up next in Fantasy Football Talk. Have the full-on, of course, when Jeff is back, we know he has a lot of questions that he likes to throw out there for fantasy football. But I got some thoughts on the quarterback play when it comes to your fantasy football team this weekend. And Thursday night football, is it a win and keep your job game for Mike McDaniel and the Dolphins, who are at the Buffalo Bills? The opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This is Pat Boyle. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Roswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are One Eastern.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your find it on ProView Networks. Burrito Express is proud to announce that we are the official burrito spot of ProView Networks. Since 1982, with 6 locations serving Albuquerque, Rio Rancho, and Roswell, the question is, red or green? Let's go to the burrito. Visit letsgototheburrito.com and order now.
For your surprisingly great race.
9.9 FM and AM 610 KNML, the sports animal. Now it's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal. Here's Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Thursdays at 9 o'clock during the NFL season, we like to banter about fantasy football. And it's not just to harp on who's on your team. It's to have an open discussion. Take your questions, debate stuff that's going on in your league, trade proposals, etc. Have some fun because fantasy has taken off along with, yes, the betting side of sports. It's another intrigue. It's another level of interest to the NFL weekend. JJ Buck, Ned James with you this morning. Bob Walpole holding it down, producing Adrian on ProView Network. So, yes, one half of Two Idiots, Too Many Teams isn't here. I know some people might say that about you, Ned, but I will not say that about you. For Jeff Symbieta, hopefully back tomorrow with us, not here today. So we'll do a half edition of our fantasy football segment here, and we talked about it earlier in the show, but it's the quarterback position, the impact on the NFL weekend, but then the impact it has in fantasy football, because you could be down Jaden Daniels, who's easily a top 3 pick at the quarterback position in your draft. Joe Burrow is gone, and you're going to have to start relying on some guys in fantasy that you might not like. But guess what? The depth at the quarterback position was really intriguing. If you're in a 10-team league, you should be all right. But when you get 12, 14-team league, if players were keeping an extra quarterback on their roster, there could be some challenges. But guys that you can invest in, and I don't have to tell you, if you're playing fantasy football, you had to spend some money in your free agent budget this week. But Daniel Jones is a top 10 fantasy football quarterback right now. He slides into a starter, and he could start over guys that you might have drafted ahead of him this week. If you're looking at, Bo Nix, Jordan Love, Jared Goff coming off that 5-touchdown performance, but guys that you probably had ahead of Daniel Jones, well, guess what? Daniel Jones slides in the starting lineups. Going to Tennessee, I think the numbers will come down just a little bit. It is a road division opponent, but Daniel Jones is sniping touchdowns from Jonathan Taylor. Daniel Jones has 3 rushing touchdowns on the season. They are essentially doing the tush push in Indianapolis. Shane Steichen, where did he come from? He came from Philadelphia. So they're using Daniel Jones in the short goal-to-goal situations in the quarterback sneak. You'll love that in fantasy football to get that extra rushing potential. Like, buy into Daniel Jones because they're aggressive with the football down the field, and you have that extra rushing element. But guys that you need to realize, hey, they can be a starter for you. You're looking at Sam Darnold and the Seattle Seahawks. He's someone that was probably available for you. You're going to Michael Penix in Carolina. I love that matchup for Michael Penix Jr. Falcons offense. You can get a little bit of extra out of Bijan Robinson in the passing game. I think you can hit some big plays downfield to Drake London with some of the challenges that you have. So when you're looking at replacing Jaden Daniels, Joe Burrow, like, heck, even if you missed out on the waiver wire and you're in a deep league and all these quarterbacks went off the board, give me Jake Brown as a direct fill-in for Joe Burrow, because they're going to throw the football. They're going to still be aggressive in that offense. And you saw it last week. Joe Burrow goes down. They didn't change anything at all. They said, throw it, young man. Yeah, he might have thrown 3 interceptions against the Jaguars, but he hit 2 touchdowns. He's got legitimate weapons in Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, who are still starters in fantasy. You're never benching Jamar Chase. He's an elite player. Higgins, maybe the touchdown upside comes down a little bit. But that's what we're looking at this weekend in fantasy football is the quarterbacks. You might have to start some guys that you don't like, but it's the reality of the situation of the players being injured. You know, J.J. McCarthy, there was some buzz there after that fourth quarter, but you're getting down into Geno Smith territory, which I'm intrigued. I think Geno Smith can bounce back after the really rough game Monday night against the Chargers. He pretty much sat back, kept everything in front. But you know Chip Kelly wants to dial up the pass game. He's going to let Geno Smith throw. And when you're looking for fantasy relevance with whatever position, wide receiver, you want target. Running back, you want volume. Quarterback, throw the football. That's what you're getting with Geno Smith. So there's a little dose of your fantasy football at the quarterback position. If you have any more questions, thoughts, comments, you can always hit us up, 505-246-0610, Sports Animal Hotline and text line, because I know, Ned James, you love fantasy football.
Yes, I do. I absolutely no. I think fantasy football is great. I think it really gives fans an understanding of value of players and what general managers and personnel people. I've always said that guys who play it and really are good at it really do understand the value of players and what coaches and personnel people have to really pay attention to as the season goes on. And guys know in the middle of the season, what value a guy is. And now salaries come into play because guys get upset because, they picked the guy, maybe he's supposed to be this great player and he's not. And so they get a little sideways. But it does reflect exactly the talent that these teams have going into games offensively. And it's really kind of fun to watch. And I just can't, bounce between games based on, who's getting targets and catches and all that sort of stuff. So it was tough. I've played it before. I've done it before. And it's fun, when you have a group of guys that you know and play. But it gets.
And that's one of the biggest things, of course, is smack talk in your league, going against your friends and knocking them off. And the beauty of fantasy football. Thursday night football tonight right here on The Sports Animal. It is Miami at Buffalo, and the NFL coverage on The Sports Animal is presented by Hyenas Comedy Nightclub. It's now open in Albuquerque. We got Ari Spears coming up this weekend, Samuel J. Comro, Brian Callen, and Tyler Fisher on deck. So get your tickets before they sell out. It's conveniently located in the Winrock Town Center. Visit hyennascomedyclub.com/Albuquerque for more info. I was at a show there a couple weeks ago. Awesome night. So much fun. They do a great job there.
I like Ari Spears, so.
Coming in. He's going to be in studio tomorrow.
Is he really?
With BV. Man. I don't know if we have enough of a delay, but come hang out. He's going to be in town this weekend at Hyenas Comedy Club. Fun spot there at the Winrock Town Center. It's a great vibe. A lot of fun comedians. They're bringing in some big-time guests, headliners, and you can get your tickets at hyennascomedynightclub.com/Albuquerque. But Thursday Night Football. So this one, the national narrative is Mike McDaniel is coaching for his job. And so the nation, the football nation, is ready to fire him. But what's interesting to me is if you do get to that point, and if you're a franchise and you're an owner that has made the decision of it is time to move on, then shouldn't you make that move regardless? I guess what is the point if you get to that where you say, you know what, we need to change as a franchise, but if they win, maybe we'll give him another week.
Yeah,
like that's always what it kind of fascinates me. They're like, oh, he's coaching for his job. Well, I think if it gets to a point where you say this guy isn't the guy, then it shouldn't matter.
Right. But I think, a lot of times people don't really know what's going on in the organization. They think they know. But if you got a team and it's made up of players you believe you can win a championship with, you got to kind of let it play out. I mean, you never know. 9-7 teams have gone on to play in the Super Bowl. And so, or in this case, it'd be 9-8. But, you just have to wait and let it play out almost to the end of the season in a lot of cases. And, you've got, players that you think believe in the coach, and so you don't want to ruin those guys. So there's always a lot of things that you have to pay attention to when it comes to coaches now. And you play fantasy football. You guys that play fantasy football, if I was playing fantasy football, it would be hard for me because I would primarily go by the coaching staffs. I would look up staffs first, then I'll go to the players.
Hey, there's the element of that.
Yeah,
style of play.
Styles and and just guys that I would trust, and those kind of things would factor in. So, that's what the ownership groups are looking at when they're looking at, potential head coaching candidates. And, you just never know. Look at, Dallas. Will Dallas go to a Super Bowl this year with Schottenheimer? Who knows? I mean, Dak looks like he's playing more comfortable than he's ever played before. So, you just never know. So that's where you got to let things play out.
That,
yeah.
Don't
This
tease
is
people like
Dallas Cowboy City. I enjoy it when Dallas wins because the city is safer.
I don't know about that.
when the Cowboys win, there's less crime in the city, in the state, because the Cowboys bring out the best in people when they win.
So that's what we're missing in the mayoral race. Is
yes, the mayor. You
just need to be like, hey, make the Cowboys great again, then the city will be good.
Yes, and that's all. Whatever mayor's in office, if the Cowboys are winning in the playoffs and they win,
just get Jerry Jones on the phone.
That mayor's going to get big time points.
Oh my goodness. 505-246-0610 Sports Animal Hotline and text. And we come back on another side. Another rookie that's off to a slow start in Vegas. What does the future hold for Heisman Trophy finalist? A former running back in the Mountain West Conference. It's not just quarterbacks that is a challenge. It's really any rookie adapting to the NFL. We'll hit that next on the Sports Animal.
Hey folks, Jason Horowitz here from Westwood One. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of Celebrity Green synthetic putting greens and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505.
Commanders hosting Big Raiders. Talking about some of the young quarterbacks, Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, always be compared to each other. They were drafted 1 and 2. Caleb coming to USC, goes number 1 to Chicago. Got stuck with Matt Eberflus and the coaching staff that got fired in his first season. Jaden Daniels goes in, got Dan Quinn and Cliff Kingsbury. Goes to the NFC Championship game. What? And how about Bill? Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt.
Yeah.
RB1. Commanders. You know, Austin Eckler goes down, which is a bummer. Big Austin Eckler fan. Veteran running back. He tears his Achilles. So Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt was already getting some work as the RB1. Now, the thing is, he's got to show some pass catching skills. Jeremy McNichols, former Boise State running back.
Yeah.
Chris Rodriguez going to go in that running back rotation for the Commanders. But they could have Marcus Mariota as their starting quarterback. But speaking of young players and adjusting to the NFL, the challenges even at the running back position. It's the opening drive here on The Sports Animal. J.J. Buck, our quarterback, Ned James with you. Josh Shushan going to hop on live with us. Coming up next from the ballpark. We got day baseball out there at Isotopes Park, and go hang out, have some lunch, enjoy the last day baseball game of the year in Albuquerque. But it's been a rough start for some of the rookie running backs. We saw Steelers rookie running back Caleb Johnson have the gaff on special teams last weekend. He lets the ball bounce past him. And, yeah, in college, that ball goes in the end zone, they're blowing the whistle. Touchback. Not in the NFL. No, that's Seahawks. And how about, was it George? Why can't I remember your last name? I forget his last name. I apologize. But it's former Boise State running back that
Halada.
Yes. Jumped on the football in the end zone for Seattle. Got a
yeah.
touchdown. Man, freaking Boise State.
St.
Broncos
John
are all
Bosco
over the place.
kid, yeah.
But Caleb Johnson, special teams guy. Hampton, I do like Hampton moving forward a lot in that offense for the Chargers, but Justin Herbert's taking the top off now. But Ashton Jeanty, he was the hype dude. He was the running back that Dallas Cowboy fan wanted. Everyone wanted. And I think Ashton Jeanty is going to be a solid running back, but there were questions of does he have that next year? Like you take a dude in the top 10, right? You think back, Ezekiel Elliott, Saquon Barkley, like there's that next level that they can get to, and I think that was a fair question with Ashton Jeanty. It's not who he played against, because guess what? Josh Allen played in the Mountain West, and he isn't
taking over
one of
control.
he's fine. But with Ashton Jeanty, it's also not just your own skill set, but how are you blocking, and it's a work in progress. So Ashton Jeanty has 30 carries for 81 yards, averaging just 2.4 yards per carry, and Pete Carroll said, quote, "I thought he hit stuff well. He went the wrong way on a play, and so there was that mess up. Geno got in his way, but he's still getting it. We've got a ways to go there, and I have no problem telling you that. He's going to get better and get more comfortable." Sebastian Jeanty was a big part of what the Raiders hoped would be their foundation moving forward. Ashton Jeanty, Brock Bowers, brought in the veteran quarterback, but sluggish start on the ground.
Yeah. Now, when you get guys like Gentry, they're not big guys. I'm a big guy. I believe the dinosaurs ruled the world for a reason, and I believe big men ruled the world for a reason. big rules. And so when you have little guys like the McCaffreys and the Gentrys, they've got to be specialists. They've got to be able to do other things. I don't think you're not going to be able to turn around, hand that guy the ball 30 times, and he gets you those hard yards after the initial contact because they're little, and bigger guys are hitting them. And so I've always been, maybe I'm old school, call me whatever you want, but little guys tend to get hurt as well. And that's why McCaffrey, who's a great player, I'm not a big fan of because I think these little guys get hurt all the time.
But he does what you said.
Yeah, he does
what he does in the past.
It's what he does in the passing game, receiving game, all that stuff. So Gentry's game is going to just have to evolve. But Pete Carroll is a turnaround, handed off to the running back guy. So there's going to have to be a running back by committee because these small guys, they're not going to be able to take 30 carries in an NFL game coming downhill for an entire season. It's just not going to happen. This is not the place. Now, he's
I will
not.
say, Christian McCaffrey, 35 carries, 6th most in the NFL so far. Putting in some work.
Yeah, McCaffrey. Don't get me wrong. I think McCaffrey's a good player. But he's always hurt. And it's typical of small guys; they get hurt a lot. And so, you have to use them wisely. And you hear all this. Even that form running that McCaffrey does all the time. You see him. Just phenomenal athlete. I remember his dad playing. But he's one of those guys that you have to be judicious in how you give him the ball and how you use him within the course of a game. And so I think they're going to have to figure out a way to do that with Gentry because I just think he's a smaller guy. Blitz pickup. Once even when you scheme
about
defensively,
kind of like size,
when you
like
scheme,
weight in that regard.
Well, just the physicality. Because
I did not realize Gentry was only 5.
Now let me go back. When you scheme and you're on defense and Gentry's in the game, you're blitzing the guy at him because that guy. When I coach linebackers in the NFL, when you have a small guy like that, you finish at the quarterback. You don't try to fake a guy out like that. You're not stepping up you don't have Eddie George stepping up or Derrick Henry or those bigger running backs, Jerome Bettis and those guys like that stepping up in the hole to pick up a linebacker. You've got a smaller guy. So you tend to target those guys based on the protection scheme. If you're 6-man protecting and you're using the back as one of your guys, whether you're sliding or whether you're fan protecting, whatever, double reading, whatever, however you do it, whatever you're using that back as an extra guy to block, you're gonna send linebackers at that guy if he's a smaller guy, and that's what they talked about with Gentry, that the pass protection and guys like Geno, particularly if guys hold the ball, they're not gonna go and then try to fake that running back out. They're just gonna run right through him. They're gonna try to finish at the quarterback through him. So. And that's some of the things that he's going to struggle with. And you wear him down. You wear those running backs down, those little small guys down. But San Francisco's different. They use the bootleg action all the time. They use McCaffrey out. They use him as a hot guy. Gentry's going to have to get used to that. He probably didn't have those kind of reads when he was in college, and so he's going to have to learn.
They just lined him up because he was able to be that guy in college. And of course, you do look at it now. This is where it's different. That the Boise State offensive line versus Mountain West, they were able to win the line of scrimmage a lot of times.
Well, they didn't ask him to do those other things. They didn't ask him to pass protect.
He didn't have to do that a lot.
And he wasn't pass protected guys that he's going to see in the NFL. And that's where, and people are going to read your protections. They're going to understand.
Well, you look at the top 3 backs. It's 2 weeks, but to kind of highlighting your point of what offenses are centering. In terms of rushing attempts through 2 weeks. Jonathan Taylor already has 43. He's number 1 in the NFL. Number 2 is Josh Jacobs in Green Bay, and number 3 is Saquon Barkley. Stout guys
that'll take on a linebacker. They don't want to, but they'll take him on. And Jonathan Taylor had to learn it too because he was a high volume runner in college, and they were kind of skeptical. Yeah, they were a little skeptical of him initially because of the pass protection. And a lot of times running backs are like, hey, man, you don't pay me to pass protect. You pay me to run the rock. And so they're a little hesitant at sticking their nose up in there. But you need them in your protection schemes a lot of times. And quarterbacks, they depend on those guys to block for them because they expect, to be protected when they're delivering the ball downfield. And a lot of times when you pull those guys off the field, people know it's pass. So you have to keep them on there for the disguise. And so that's where, I think, Gentry's going to learn, how to adjust to this NFL game. And, I'm old school. I like bigger backs.
Yeah.
I just
so
like
that's interesting. So pass protection, you're always big, as you're saying, for a running back, but his receiving ability could then open up his game as
right.
running.
Which is what McCaffrey's has done.
And you see that, because they were talking this week too, and Kyle Shanahan was praising Christian McCaffrey's route running ability.
And he's a
your
starting
running back.
Yes,
so that's interesting. So you think of it, the offensive line, everything that comes into it, but for Ashton Jeanty, to be a better runner, it could be working on his routes and his receiving skills, open things up, get involved more, moving forward.
And the coordinator has to do it.
Chip Kelly.
There
you go. He didn't want anything to do with UCLA. He left. I'm going to go be an OC at Ohio State and get back in the NFL.
I don't get it. I just don't get how someone leaves UCLA. I just don't get it.
You know who steps up? You know who's always available?
Who's that?
Josh Hushon. And he's going to join us next. We got Day Baseball out there at the lab. The voice of the Isotopes joins us next right here on the Sports Animal.
Sunday on Compass Media Network's coverage of the NFL.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Roswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are One Eastern.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of celebrity green synthetic putting greens and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
today. Isotopes Park, baby. It's baseball, Reno, and the Albuquerque Isotopes 11:05 first pitch right here on The Sports Animal. It's JJ Buck, quarterback, Ned James with you this morning. The voice of the Isotopes, Josh Shushan, has a great morning just chilling at the ballpark, getting ready for some baseball. What's up, man? How you doing? Gotta love it. So what is your go-to in the morning? Do you get some eggs? What are you doing at the ballpark on an early game? Yes. I'm jealous. I'm super jealous. So what? And you mentioned, Chef Jim, and you guys do such a great job. He does, the ballpark food, the different themes that you guys have all season long. Do you have a favorite thing that popped up on the menu this season?
Yeah. I'm a taco guy too. Yeah. Go.
I mean, that's the beauty, of baseball and what the Isotopes are able to do is you get the talent on the field, but just the entertainment, the overall atmosphere. And I want to talk to you about players, and whether it's someone in the Isotopes organization or, of course, across the league that you've seen. Who has been the most impressive baseball player you've seen this season?
The multi-talented Josh Shushan. I can't wait till we get you over here and do football again. I had a good time with you that one time we did football together. But I was just proud of you going up to Colorado and doing one of those Major League Baseball games. Tell us a little bit about that experience and what it was like, and just, I'm just so proud that you were able to get a chance to do that. I know you do that, every now and then, but just tell us what it was like being in that major league ballpark and doing that game this year.
Josh Ushan, voice of the Ice Topes, with us this morning. Topes have some day ball, 11:05 first pitch out there at the Lab against Reno. And you mentioned all the fun plays and different ways to describe it. And it feels like, when you do something over and over, it's like, I got to be ready to see something. I've seen this before. No, there were some times this year where we had some incredible plays and, of course, great calls from you of, wait, how did that just happen on the baseball field?
Out of all the events that you've seen this season, and I know there's a lot of different things you see, whether it's on the field or just something that's happened in your travels, what's been the funniest thing you've seen that just had you just cracking up? There had to be one thing this season, because there's always something one season that left you shaking your head, just laughing, and just kept you just animated for that day because of that one event that you saw, whether before the game, during the game, or after the game. This year. A GoPro.
And you mentioned those fans, just 15,996 away from drawing the 12 millionth fan in club history. And I know there might be something special for the number, the 12 million fan. Get out there while you still can. Enjoy some brunch, some lunch at Isotopes Park today, 11:05 first pitch. Josh, always fun to catch up, man. Enjoy the day. We absolutely will. Josh Ushon, he'll take over here very shortly.
You are clear.
Sports Animal for some day baseball.
Have a good day, Josh.
Ready and enjoy that game. And you said it, man. These guys are still playing hard, having fun at the ballpark. And it's never a bad day to go out to the ballpark.
Never a bad day. That's such a great ballpark, too, to watch a game. I always enjoyed going to the minor league games when I was in New Orleans because it was right across the street from our facility.
The Zephyrs?
So, Zephyrs, yeah. Oh, man, it was just so much fun. And it's fun at Isotopes Park, so get out there, folks.
And Josh will take over here shortly, and we'll have an 11:05 first pitch, Topes and Reno. He's Ned James. JJ Buck got Bob Walpole holding it down. Adrian, appreciate you. And we got one more segment, Thursday Night Football. Who wins? Who do you got? Hit that next on the Sports Animal.
This is Pat Boyle with the Sports Minute.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of celebrity green, synthetic putting greens, and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Roswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are One Eastern.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing.
At Bills, our coverage begins at 5:30 right here on The Sports Animal. If you're listening to the NFL, you're listening to The Sports Animal, and our coverage of the National Football League is presented by Highness Comedy Nightclub, now open in Winrock Town Center. And also, you know what we're doing. It's a 5K a day giveaway here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. You got to just text the national keyword to 95819. The national keyword is check. 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 So text that keyword to 95819 right now. We'll text you back to confirm your entry. Data and messaging rates may apply. And remember, don't text and drive. So just remember to check. And then when you get the opportunity, text it to 95819. 5K a day right here on The Sports Animal. JJ Buckingham James with you. Thursday night football. Dolphins at the Bills. You know, I think the Dolphins are feisty. I think they keep this one close. The Bills win, but if the number earlier was 12, it's 11.5 now. I think they can cover. I think Josh Allen, I know Josh Allen will have a better game. And he didn't have to do a lot last week. The run game was phenomenal. They gave it to James Cook. He exploded, but no passing or rushing touchdowns for Josh Allen last week. The Bills at home, the easy pick. But I think the Dolphins, a little feisty. Still a little fighting them.
And, you know, they've got the weapons on offense. They've got to be able to find a way to run the ball a lot better and play better special teams. But they've got to play better on defense. And Buffalo's going to be not as good on defense. So, there's some room for Miami to kind of maybe sneak up on them on the road. But they're going to have to play that perfect game. You know, Tua's going to have to, not turn the ball over. Punt the ball. Don't throw interceptions. Play good defense. Run the ball. And be in the game close at the end. And then try to win it at the end. So I'm hoping to see a good game. Nobody wants to see a blowout. And so Miami's got to go up there and be professional.
We'll see.
Try to win a game.
We'll see if they can be professional. A couple kind of got to win games already in week 3 of the NFL season. And if you ever listen to the opening drive, and this started really with college basketball. And Jeff Symbieta would have, the most desperate team theory would kind of play out when we'd be in Mountain West conference season. Looking at college basketball, the most desperate team would kind of have the edge. And then we kind of developed this. It's not a must-win game because it's only week 3. But it's a kind of got-to-win game because it carries a little bit more importance. And there's a couple kind of got-to-win games. The first one for me is Denver Broncos at the Los Angeles Chargers. So a rough way to lose a game last week. A leverage penalty on a 60-yard field goal attempt. Move the ball at 15 yards. Colts win. You're just going, what are you doing?
Given the game to Denver wouldn't take it.
and Denver didn't win that game. The Broncos at the Chargers, and this is a kind of got to win game for Denver if they want to win the division. Is if the Chargers are victorious as 2.5-point home favorites, that's not just a 3-0 start. It's a 3-0 start against the division.
Yeah.
And they beat Kansas City. They won in Vegas, and they have Denver this weekend. That's kind of got to win game for Denver to really stay in the AFC West title race because they were the hot team. The Chargers are doing what everyone thought the Broncos were going to do, and that's come out and show that they're ready to knock off Kansas City and win that division. The Chargers are like, oh, hold up. We have the better quarterback. They do. They have a coach that's just as good, maybe if not better, than Sean Payton. And you're seeing the offense really emerge that Quentin Johnson, former first-round pick, is realizing he can catch footballs downfield.
Yeah.
I really like what the Chargers are doing. It's kind of got a win game.
Yeah.
Denver on the road if you want to stay in that division race.
And they're making Harbaugh into the kingmaker. He's making kings, but they're playing good on defense. I mean, the Chargers are really doing a good job defensively. Khalil Mack is just been on tear. And
now he's going to be out.
He's
for
a little dinged up, but
he dislocated his elbow.
Yeah, well, it was just dislocated and shoot it up and go play. Well, that's another story. Anyway,
I think he landed on the IR.
Yeah. But I think he's going to be done for a little bit. But they're playing well on defense, and Harbaugh's going to run the ball. So Denver's got tough sledding, and I always was a little skeptical that Denver defense when they give up a bunch of points that one game, and even though they played well on defense.
Daniel Jones put up 316 on him, man.
But Daniel Jones, people, were beating up on Daniel Jones, and I got to tell you all the time, JJ, if a guy's, it's tough to win a game in the NFL. It's even tougher to win a playoff game. Daniels has won a playoff game on the road, and so you got to give him a little credit. I mean, people called him a bum because he left New York, but really,
well, he made the right decision.
Yeah.
So there are reports that he ended up actually taking less money to sign with Indianapolis. So Minnesota wanted him back, but he saw the writing on the wall. Is they're going to give J.J. McCarthy a chance. Like, J.J. McCarthy was playing football this year, and he looked at Indianapolis and goes, I'm better than Anthony Richardson.
I'm better than that guy, yeah.
And here we are with the Colts 2-0. The other kind of got a win game for me this week in the Houston Texans. 0-2 at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Rough start to the season. C.J. Stroud, that offense hasn't been great. The defense let Baker Mayfield, clutch-filled drive down, lead the game-winning touchdown drive in Houston. Texans need to respond. At the Jaguars, always a little hit and miss.
Yeah, and they got to run the ball better too. They got to give C.J. Stroud some help now. I mean, these guys get figured out after a while. These quarterbacks that come out hot, you got to settle down and you're going to be who you are. But Houston, it's still early. We'll see what happens with them. They're not too bad. But they got to play a little bit better, run the ball.
The division game on deck. Kind of got a win game for the Houston Texans, 0-2 at the Jaguars. Jaguars 1.5-point home favorites, and we'll see if Trevor Lawrence and Brian Thomas Jr. can get the connection going. And the Travis Hunter, it's been interesting to watch. Snap count rose defensively last week, but they do need the second overall pick to catch some touchdowns too. And get involved in that offense.
Yeah, I mean, they're not bad on offense, but I mean, is he really helping them that much on defense? Maybe he is. I don't know. I mean, but he's someone. I mean, the quarterback's really good, and they've got other weapons on offense, and maybe they're trying to feel it out and see where they can best use him and he can best help the overall team. Yeah. And so maybe defense, maybe some special teams.
How you feeling about this one, Ed? The two teams that you coached with, the Saints at the Seahawks. Oh, you were in the Seattle shirt and the Saints hat this weekend. What's it look like?
No. Well. We got a Lobo on the Seattle Seahawks, so Jarek Reed's up there, so I'm kind of pulling for him. I mean, he's on the practice squad. He's not. He may not. It just depends on if someone gets hurt, they'll suit him up, or if they need him on special.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Burrito Express is proud to announce that we are the official burrito spot of ProView Networks. Since 1982, with 6 locations serving Albuquerque, Rio Rancho, and Roswell, the question is, red or green? Let's go to the burrito. Visit letsgototheburrito.com and order now.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Burrito Express is proud to announce that we are the official burrito spot of ProView Networks. Since 1982, with 6 locations serving Albuquerque, Rio Rancho, and Roswell, the question is, red or green? Let's go to the burrito. Visit letsgototheburrito.com and order now.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of celebrity green, synthetic putting greens, and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit International Protective